Hey guys, welcome back. Drip and Farm for Poverty. I'm your host, Drip Coach, and let's jump right into it. So as you see on the screen here, community chats, beware. And what am I talking about? Well, glad you asked. Today, I want to dive into a topic that's crucial. Now that we all live in an online world, it's the dangers of trying to control the narrative and police freedom of expression and freedom of speech. You see, it's essential to understand that each online platform is like its own unique world. And just like in the real world, certain rules apply. But sometimes some individuals take things a bit too far, wanting to extend their influence beyond their own turf. So let's break it down with some real world analogies that help you grasp the concept better. So let's think of the online platform as the internet vast collection of neighborhoods. And in each neighborhood is represented by different platforms, such as Facebook, YouTube, Twitter, and of course, our beloved Telegram. Now, think of these Telegram groups as individual houses within a neighborhood. Each house has its own rules, values, and they get to decide who they want to invite inside the house. So let's say you're in one of our fantastic Telegram groups for the Drip community. You're having a great time engaging with everyone, but suddenly someone starts spreading negativity or violating whatever the group's rules are. Well, as responsible admins, we have the right to ask that person to leave, just like a homeowner would ask an unruly person or guest to exit their house. However, it becomes problematic when that person gets upset and tries to make other homeowners kick that person out as well. That's like getting banned from one house, expecting all the other houses in the neighborhood to ban you as well. It simply doesn't work that way. Each group has its own guidelines, and other group admins may not even know the full context of what happened. So expecting everyone to follow suit is not only impractical, but also goes against the spirit of individual freedom within these groups. So each house has its own rules. The admin from another house can't come into someone else's house and say, hey, kick that guy out. Or vice versa. I heard about what you did in that other house, so we're not letting you in our house. Like, that's just ridiculous. It's very childish. But in that second example, they own the group, so they can do that, but that is extremely childish nonetheless. Let's go to another example. Let's look at it as a global cafeteria. So think of the internet as a bustling global cafeteria with different sections for various interests and topics. We all have our favorite tables where we like to sit and chat with like-minded people. Now, it's natural that some groups will have stricter rules while others might be more lenient. So imagine you're sitting at a friendly discussion table where people love to share ideas and engage in thought-provoking conversation, but suddenly someone starts causing disruptions and being disrespectful. The cafeteria manager, which is akin to the group admin again, steps in and asks that person to leave the friendly discussion because they're ruining the experience for others. But now expecting that cafeteria manager to then go police other groups, or let's say this person was escorted out and then goes into another cafeteria completely on the other side of town and sits down and talks about what happened at this one. It's asinine to expect these cafeteria managers to go police those other groups, or these cafeteria managers to call up the other cafeteria and say, hey, don't let that person in there. That's just ridiculous. But for some odd reason, that is the way that our community expects the Telegram groups to behave. But let's go to one third and final example that may ring true for some people. Let's look at it as an online sports league with multiple different sports. You've got different teams competing in various games, each with its own set of rules. Now, sometimes during a match, emotions run high and players may say things they later regret. Now, let's say a player from one of those teams gets a bit too aggressive and starts trash talking an opponent from another team. The referee in this case, the admin of the team chat, interferes and penalizes a player for unsportsmanlike behavior. But what we actually know happens in sports, and if you ever watch The Last Dance by Michael Jordan, and if you listen to any interviews with Kobe, man, they trash talk the hell out of people and get inside their head super deep. And the referee doesn't do anything. Why? Because that's just nature of the game. One, maybe the referee doesn't hear it, but two, that's not for them to intervene on just talking. Talking trash does not constitute violations of the game. It's actually part of the game. Now, when the player that got trash talked decides to physically get into an infraction with the other player, then of course that's rules for unsportsmanlike conduct. They get ejected. But just think how ridiculous that would be if the referee over here is like, hey, I heard you talking about that person's mama and you said something mean about his kid. You're kicked out of the game. Now, let's just say they were that childish and that simple-minded that they could kick a player out of the game. Well, that doesn't mean that now that player is kicked out of every single game. And let's just say somehow magically they're banned from the league. That doesn't mean now the player can't go play another league, another sport, you know, moving from basketball to football or baseball or whatever the case may be. It's ridiculous. So nowhere in the real world do we have these rules except for maybe kids, right? But somehow within our community, within DeFi, people are so immature and lack the cognitive abilities to understand that just talking does not violate anything. But of course, if you have your own Telegram group, you can, of course, make these rules. But stop crying about other people saying things mean about you in other chats. Like, it's just ridiculous. And admins, stop banning people from other chats when you see them say something in another one. If you don't like what's going on in one chat, then don't join it. Just like the lunch table analogy or the online neighborhood. Stop going into the house party with the music you don't like and complaining about it. Stay in your house. Like, it's really simple. I don't get it. But if only we did have a space with mature, cognitive thinking adults, I think DeFi, we can make DeFi great again. But anyway, so this is just my, again, call to arms to the community. Like, we should still have rules. Like, there are some boundaries, of course. Name calling, being disrespectful, things of that nature, racism, all that stuff is definitely not tolerated. Totally agree with that. But simple trolling, if your group doesn't allow trolling, that's fine. But don't get upset of other groups that do allow it. Just don't engage in those groups. It's real simple. So to me, the goal is to have this freedom of expression, freedom of speech, embracing the DeFi kind of ideologies and the way that the internet is meant to run, and not trying to control it and getting back to the centralized agencies that we are kind of trying to leave in the first place. So hopefully this analogy made sense to some people, and hopefully as a collective, we can find a way to rebuild the community in a shape that is actually representative of everyone's opinions and perspectives, and not just a one-sided echo chamber. All right, that's all I got. Hope that provides value. If it did, smash that HBO special, help brother out, like, subscribe, comment down below, and until next time, lift daily and achieve your impossible. See ya. Want to pay your in real life bills with crypto? How about send crypto directly to anyone with a bank account? SPRITZ Finance is a decentralized solution to be your own bank and connect your crypto earnings to real-world bills and payments. They do not take custody of your assets and allow support on multiple blockchains and Web3 wallets. Sign up below using my referral link and you will get $50 back when you make your first $50 bill payment with crypto. Additionally, I will be using referral bonuses to airdrop, donate, or burn based on community feedback. Sign up now